Governor Gavin Newsom goes to new levels of chutzpah and hypocrisy, accusing oil companies of scamming the public when in fact he's the scammer for high prices. Coming up, we'll expose how he's responsible for price spikes, what we can do about it, and how you can join the fight. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California, and Governor Gavin Newsom is out there complaining about the high price of gas prices in his state. Sort of like the devil complaining about sin. This is the guy that caused it. He must know that there's an election coming up and his party has caused a lot of damage to voters, and he's trying to hoodwink them. He's trying to fool them into thinking that, no. It's not the fact that we have the highest state gas taxes in the country, $1.43 right now, and they're expected to rise to nearly $2 a gallon by the end of next year. It's also got nothing to do with Gavin Newsom's greedy new steel, Green New Deal mandates and regulations that spiked the cost of our fuel. No, it has nothing to do with his policies. No, it must be the greed of oil and gas companies. Now, let me just tell you, I do not like big business. I think that the best way to guard against big business is to have small businesses, lots of competition against these companies. But as we've analyzed gas prices in California, we know the real culprit for the high prices are the government mandates, taxes, and fees imposed by people by the Sacramento legislature, people like Gavin Newsom. And we've got the receipts to show you in just a minute. We have the proof. But here's what's going on. Gavin Newsom, knowing that there's an election coming up, is saying we need to call a special session of the legislature. So let me get this straight. You've diddled and daddled for 6.5 years while you've been in office. You've supported the highest gas taxes in the country. You've refused to give any sort of relief at the gas pump, even though you have the legal ability to suspend increases in the gas tax. No. You've done nothing at all as you've been running your shameful and failed attempt to become president for the past, 2 years. You've been running for president, not doing your job. And so you've not been doing your job. And so now that there's an election coming up and you're about to get your ass handed to you because of people's frustration with the cost of living, the pain at the pump. Now you say, oh my goodness, why haven't people been doing more work on this issue? I'm calling a special session. Oh, that'll fix the problem. We're going to get politicians to get into a room and magically things will get better. And of course, the media is lapping this up. Bold and decisive action by our fearless governor, Gavin Newsom. He says enough is enough. We got to take action. Where have you been, Gavin? And of course, what have you been doing? What have you done to make the prices much higher? Of course, the media is not going to cover it. They're going to lie about it. But the ultimate in chutzpah and hypocrisy was evidenced at yesterday's press conference, where he was promoting the special session, calling on legislators to take swift and bold action to reduce gas prices by going after oil and gas companies. Listen to this asshat governor literally say, it's the oil and gas companies that are trying to scam and fool the public, when in fact he is the scammer and he is trying to play the public for fools. And sadly, the liberal media is part of that scam.
Have 90% market share in the refinery space. I mean, how dumb do we want to continue to be?
How dumb do we want to continue to be? You're hoping the public's going to be really dumb, Newsom, because you're the culprit. You've caused the problem, and we've got the receipts to show you in just a minute for those that doubt.
To be played as fools, which they've been doing for decades and decades. Billions and billions of dollars. Hardworking folks being fleeced by the greed of these oil companies.
I'm backing it up so that you can hear him saying the public is being played for fools.
I mean, how dumb do we want to continue to be? To be played as fools, which they've been doing for decades and decades. Billions and billions of dollars. Hardworking folks being fleeced by the greed of these oil.
No, it's being fleeced by you asshat, you liar, you scammer, you thief. You don't give a rip about working families, or else you wouldn't constantly be increasing their taxes and imposing costly regulations on them and taking more of their money. I mean, again, what angers me is this guy's doing real damage to working families in California who cannot survive. And he has the audacity to lie about it. And the liberal media has the corruption factor of letting him get by with no questions about, well, Governor, didn't you support the largest gas tax in the nation? Aren't you the one that is imposing the Green New Deal mandates, Mr. Governor? Why is it that on any damn day of the week, any day of the year, California gas prices are $1.50 on a good day to as much as $2.50 more than the national average? Now, in Newsom's world, it's the greedy oil and gas companies are price gouging. So they only price gouge in California? Again, the best way to just destroy Newsom's scam, expose it, his dishonesty, to prove him to be an absolute charlatan on this issue, is to point out that oil and gas prices in California are $1.50 to $2.50 more than the national average. Take a dart and throw it on the calendar. So in order for you to believe that it's the oil and gas prices, oil and gas companies' greed that causes all of our pain in California, you'd have to basically swallow the big pile of dung that oil and gas companies are only interested in price gouging in California, because that would therefore explain the price differential nationally. But that they are absolute angels in every other state. Yeah, not happening. Not happening at all. Now, there's something broken about California, and that broken is our governor and our corrupt political system. They're scamming working families, and they're getting away with it because of the crappy left-wing liberal media we have in California. Let me give you the receipts. I'll walk you through the gas prices. There are 3 reasons why we have higher gas prices in California. Number 1, the Green New Deal chokes the supply of oil that we produce in California. If you take a look at oil production, in 1986, we only imported 5% of California's oil from foreign countries. Only 5%. It's a drop in the bucket, in the barrel. 95% came from the United States. More than half came from California, with many of those wells being in Central Valley. Has a lot of oil deposits in Central Valley. The Green New Deal in California started to get implemented in the 1990s. They banned oil production, made it impossible. And as a result, we now have 55% of oil being imported in California from foreign sources. You know, the same countries that throw gays off the top of buildings and don't respect women. Yeah, the human rights abusers for these woke Democrats running our state. Well, these woke Democrats love to line the pockets of these human rights abusers by buying their dirty oil and gas. Second reason why we have infinitely higher prices in California, the Green New Deal, Greedy New Steel, has restricted our ability to refine oil into gas efficiently. In fact, we've not issued a permit for a new refinery in California since 1978. 1/3 of refineries have closed their doors since 2010 because they just can't make money. So much for the price gouging theory. We also have the most restrictive regulations on the type of refining that we can do on our gasoline. Much more strong than any other state in the nation, which adds to the price and also restricts the ability for us to buy other refined gas when we have disruption in supply in California. Because we have a very specific and highly regulated form of gasoline in California, which again is a choice of Gavin Newsom. It is his policy. And no, we're not getting cleaner air from this crap. We're not getting any cleaner air. In fact, their environmental policies are making air quality worse because they've choked the supply of water in California, which means that, for example, in Central Valley, we now have the worst air quality that we've ever had. Bakersfield's air quality is worse than LA because they don't have water to keep the soil on the ground from fallowed farmland. Yeah, you choke water off of farms, they stop producing. You don't manage the fields with water. the particulate matter, the soil, the dust kicks up. Ever heard of the Dust Bowl from the 1930s? That's what we're talking about. Air quality is worse because of their stupid environmental policies. Again, I always say these radical enviros with the Green New Deal, Green New Steel, the only thing they're doing is making your cost of living higher, and they're not protecting the environment. They're actually hurting the environment. Their policies come at a net cost to you and a net cost to the environment. I mean, it's just insane. The third reason why we have higher gas prices, yep, you guessed it, the California gas tax. And let me share with you some specific numbers on that. We've got this campaign underway where we're trying to stop the $2 gas tax, state gas tax, from being implemented in California. That's right. It's going to be $2 by 2026. And basically, here's the breakdown. Right now, we're of $1.43, and that's 59.6 cents for the state gas tax. We have a cap and trade tax, which is at least 28 cents. It's usually higher. A sales tax of 12 cents. Carb regulation costs of 23 cents. Those are refining and regulatory costs per gallon. Underground storage regulations, 2 cents. Federal gas tax, 18.4 cents. We don't know yet what this penalty tax is going to be that Newsom is proposing. But right now it's $1.43 per gallon. You want gas relief? $1.43. Just like that. By 2026, which is just a year and a couple months away, it's $1.95, $2 a gallon. That's Gavin Newsom, the thief and liar that he is. He's the one that is causing this problem. Now, every couple years, every year or so, when things spike or when an election approaches, he announces a study commission, a special session of the legislature. This isn't the first time that these politicians have used a special session of the legislature to try to claim that they're actually working on our behalf. They've done it before, and they never get the job done. And the media lets them get by with this lie. Because the media is more interested, the liberal media, in protecting bad politicians. Look, at Reform California, we're trying to expose this with shows like this every day. And, of course, articles like our story on our gas tax repeal campaign that's underway. Go to our website, reformcalifornia.org. Chip in a contribution right now and help us get the word out on Gavin Newsom's gas price scam. He has the audacity to blame oil and gas companies. Again, I'm not a defender of oil and gas companies. I want to hold them accountable. But where we see the big drivers of our price spikes, it's government. It's Gavin Newsom. It's the corrupt politicians of this state. Spread the word. The election's coming up. People need to know that their pain and suffering at the pump, their high cost of living, is a direct result of the bad politicians that have been put into office, and that we need to elect better ones. Also, just so you know, we do have our plain English voter guide online at reformcalifornia.org. Click under voter help and voter guides. We give you a plain English description of everything that's on your ballot, including exposing all of the tax increases. There are more than 470 tax hikes on the ballot, hidden on the ballot statewide in California. You won't know where those tax hikes are, nor will your neighbors and friends, unless you use this voter guide. So go to the website, take a look at that voter guide. Also sign up to get the voter guide sent to you electronically so you can easily forward it on over text and email to friends. At the bottom of the website, reformcalifornia.org, first name, last name, phone, email, and zip code, subscribe. And please do chip in a contribution so that we can help defeat the tax increases and put better people into office. Our voter guides have endorsements in key races up and down the state of California. So please do that and be part of our movement. Until next time, Carl DeMaio, Chairman of Reform California. Help us break through the censorship of the liberal media. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and smash that notification button so you can stay up to date on all the developments in California news and politics. Also, please visit the website, reformcalifornia.org, for ongoing news coverage and to join one of our campaigns in the fight to take back our state. If you can, please sign up as a volunteer or chip in a contribution. This episode of Reform California with Carl DeMaio, paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly 2024.